Hey folks, we are going to start a little series on graphing, and we're going to graph inequalities, and then we're going to graph systems of equations and systems of inequalities. So that's where we're going, maybe a couple of weeks in advisory for all of this. So let's start off with graphs of a linear function in the form of y equals mx plus b. Okay, so the form of a linear equation that shows the slope and y-intercept, and we already know this. Okay, so this is my slope, and this is my y-intercept. Okay. Keep in mind, even though we're going to graph a little bit here, typically on a test, you wouldn't graph per se. You would have to match the graphs, and we've kind of been doing a little bit of that in our warm-ups in class, okay? So, first of all, it says, write the equation of a line with a slope of 1/2 that crosses the y-axis at 3. So basically 1/2 goes where the slope should go, 3 goes where the y-intercept is. So the equation is y equals 1/2 x plus 3. There's my slope, there's my y-intercept. Okay. Write the equation of a line with a slope of -4 and a y-intercept of 0. Okay, that'd be y equals -4x. And you do not have to put plus 0. Keep that in mind. And on a standardized test, they would not put plus 0. Okay? All right. Now, notice we've got a graph, and it's telling us to write the equation. So if we're going to write this equation, we need two things. We need the slope, and we need the y-intercept. Okay, so y-intercept's easy to find. It's right here. It's -2. So I'm just going to write b equals -2 because b in the formula is the y-intercept. And now we need to rise and run, and we need to find one more point that goes through the corner of a box. So there's one here. So the rise is 1 and the run is 2. Rise is 1, the run is 2. So the equation is y equals 1/2 x minus 2. This equation matches this line. Okay? So now I want you to take a second. I want you to find the y-intercept, and I want you to find the slope. I'm going to pause for a minute. Okay, y-intercept is 3. It's right here. And I'm going to find another good spot. Right here is where the line goes through the corner of the box. And so from here, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3. That's down 3, right 1. Well, down is negative. Down 3, right 1. So my slope is -3. So the equation is y equals -3x plus 3. Okay. All right, same thing here. Find your slope and your y-intercept. Okay. Y-intercept is -2. Let's see, goes through the corner of the box right there. We can do this. So we're going to rise 1, 1, 2, and run 4. So my slope. Rise 1, run 4. So my equation is y equals 1/4 x minus 2. Okay. Okay, now, they give us the equation and we have to graph. Okay, so always easiest to start with your y-intercept. Y-intercept is -2. And it's going to be on the y-axis, so we've got 1 point, and all we need is one more point, and we can graph this line. So my slope is -1/3. Keep in mind, the negative can be put on the top number, or the negative can be put on the bottom number. but we do not put negative on both, because a negative divided by a negative is actually a positive. Okay, so I'm just going to go with this one. This means I would rise 1 and move to the left 3. Okay, so rise 1 and move to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and just to show you, it even works here. You would go down 1 and right 3. So notice from your y-intercept, you would go down 1 and right 3, and you can see it still falls on the line. Okay, and then you can get some straight edge of some sort, and there's your line. Okay, here we've got a y-intercept of 1. Let's go ahead and pop that on there. And we have a slope of -2. Okay, so keep in mind we can make that a fraction by dividing by 1, or we can move the negative to the bottom. So from here, I'm going to go down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. Okay. And here's my line. Okay. All right. Y-intercept is -4, excuse me. Okay. And it may appear that there's no slope, but it is. There is an understood 1 in front of that x. So your slope is 1. And keep in mind, if I wrote that as a fraction, I would put a 1 underneath. So from my y-intercept, I'm going to rise 1 and run 1. Rise 1 and run 1. All right. Okay. Standard form. Notice this is standard form. AX plus BY equals C. We can use standard form to solve for the X and Y intercepts. By substituting in a 0 for each variable. And you guys know that as cover up, cover up. Okay, so example, if I want my x-intercept, I cover up my y. Okay, and I'm just going to write this out the long way. So I cover up my y, and I have 2x equals 10. I solve that. I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and I find out my x-intercept is 5. So I'm going to come over here on the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. For my y-intercept, I'm going to cover up my x, and I'm left with a positive 4y equals 10. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. Okay, and it's not going to come out pretty. If I divide this in the calculator, I'm going to get 2.5. That's okay, we can do this. Y-intercept goes on the y-axis, 1, 2, and a half. Okay. Also keep in mind, you don't have to, but you could find the slope. Remember, the slope is opposite of A over B, so that's going to be -2 over 4, which is -1/2. So you could also plot your x-intercept, and then you could go either down 1 right 2 or up 1 left 2. So you could go up 1 and left 2. So you could use your slope as well. All right. Okay, so we're going to let you try these. Okay, you're going to cover up, find your x-intercept, cover up, cover up, find your x-intercept, cover up, find your y-intercept, and graph this, okay? You're going to do the same here, do the same here, do the same here, okay? So pause the video. Teachers, please pause the video, and at the end, we'll show you what your lines look like. Okay, here are your x and y intercepts in all 4 of these, so double check those. And then what I did was I plotted the x and y intercepts and I drew a line. If one of these is wrong, maybe lean over to the person beside of you, ask them how they got what they got. All right. You all have a good day.